Hi, I'm Mike Warner, this year's president of the Greater Medina Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors. I would like to welcome you to the 2018 Candidates Forum in partnership with Medina TV. All candidates in contested races were invited to be interviewed. I'm pleased to be joined by Jared Fry of Medina TV for the interviews. We hope you find these interviews informative and helpful as you cast your vote. Now joining us, it's Judge Hensal from the Ohio Court of Appeals, 9th Appellate District. And we'd like to know if you could tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Sure. So, as you mentioned, I'm on the Ohio Court of Appeals in the 9th Appellate District. The state of Ohio has 12 appellate districts. The 9th covers all of Medina County, Lorain County, Wayne County, and Summit County. And we hear all the cases that come up from the trial court level from those counties, as well as some board of tax appeals, and we have some original actions. I am a Medina County native. I currently live in Summit County. The court has offices in Summit County in Akron, as well as a courtroom there, but we come here to Medina County when we hear cases coming out of this county, and we travel, of course, to the other counties as well. I was a practicing attorney in Medina County for about 19 years before I took the bench in 2013, and I also served as assistant prosecutor in Medina Municipal Court. I served as assistant law director and prosecutor in Wadsworth for about 19 years, so yeah.
So again, Judge, thanks for joining us here today. What specific skills or expertise do you feel you bring to this position?
Well, I have been the sitting Court of Appeals judge for about 5.5 years now. I'm just finishing up my first term on the court. But prior to that, I had a lot of courtroom experience. I was a prosecutor in the local communities as well as a private attorney. So I spent a lot of time representing individuals, corporations, public entities in the courtroom, as well as serving as a guardian and other a guardian ad litem and other services that involve being in the courtroom and representing individuals. I have twice been elected the presiding judge of the Court of Appeals, once been elected the administrative judge. I serve at the Ohio Appellate Judges Association Executive Committee, as well as the Appellate Procedure and Law Committee down in Columbus. I've sat on the Ohio Supreme Court by assignment of the Chief Justice, as well as sit in a work group focusing on the work that the judges across the state of Ohio do. So, you know, I have a long time in the courts and representing individuals.
So you just kind of list that great extensive resume. What do you see as the biggest obstacles to justice in the judicial system today?
The judiciary has many of the same problems that other branches of government have in terms of funding, pace, the ability for the public to access what they need to access in order for us to properly serve them. Of course, I would probably be remiss if I didn't mention, you know, we have a drug epidemic going on, and so that is creating a lot of other problems for the court system that didn't exist before.
And I see that, and usually leadership plays a key role in this. And what do you feel is your leadership role that makes you stand out above the other candidates?
Well, as a sitting judge, as a judge that's done work statewide for the judiciary, and as an individual who has gone out into the community to explain what the Court of Appeals does and what it doesn't do. But as I have also, in terms of the drug epidemic issue, have served on task force meetings with first responders, with legislators, with law enforcement, to try to get, so that everyone can try to get an understanding of what's going on. I will say, though, in terms of my everyday job, we review the cases that come before us, review the arguments that are made. It's a court of law. Nothing else matters in terms of what's going on outside the confines of that particular case, but the law. Mm-hmm. The Court of Appeals is many times, for most cases, the court of last resort. It is, and what I mean by that is, you have a trial, You can have an appeal as of right to our court in the Court of Appeals. You do not have a right to go to the next level up, which is the Ohio Supreme Court. That's a court that takes discretionary actions on matters of great concern on the state. So it's really important to understand that your only job is to look at the law, do the research in writing, and decide the case efficiently.
So now, how do all your other roles that you've held and you've discussed here with us today, how do you feel those have you felt they've helped you? Have you learned things from those roles that have made you better when you're sitting on the bench?
I think so. I think anything you can learn is going to help you be a better at whatever it is you do, most especially a judge. You know, one of the things that the Ohio Supreme Court does is they have a legislative exchange where the judges go and they spend a day with their legislator. That is an eye-opening experience. Because we're not involved in the drafting of laws, so we don't vote on whether something's a good idea or not. Okay, so that is a very good experience. Also, I have to say that my experience outside the courtroom in terms of counseling clients, individuals, and public entities has given me a good idea of what it is that happens before it gets to us. I think if you didn't do that, if you weren't in the courtroom, you wouldn't understand how these things happen. You wouldn't have a base knowledge. My understanding of the judiciary and what cases we hear in the state of Ohio is very broad-based because my practice was very broad-based. So I had a lot of different types of cases, different types of experiences. So
how do you feel the district benefits by having you as judge?
Having been a presiding judge and administrative judge has been, I think, a very good benefit for the district because you're a leader amongst your peers. You also get to work on getting the information out to the public. I've done several continuing legal education courses, but also spoke to civics groups about what the Court of Appeals is, what it does, how they spend their day. In addition to that, I should, in terms of being a leader, prior president of the Medina County Bar Association, prior character and fitness chairperson. What a character and fitness committee does is they examine individuals who are going to sit for the bar exam, and they determine whether or not that person's character is fit to actually become a member of the legal community in Ohio to sit to pass the bar.
Mm-hmm. Now, I heard you talk about going into civics classes, and it's kind of an interesting point here, especially with any judicial race. You can pick any of them here in the state of Ohio. They don't tend to draw the big numbers of voters to come out and vote as you would, maybe a governor's race or anything like that. What do you have to say to people that might help them or encourage them to come out and vote for judicial races?
That's a good question, because you were right. Many people don't vote. It's important to get informed about the people who are running in a judicial race. There are several online places you can go. You can also go to the 9th District Court of Appeals, and you can see many things. You can see the bios of all the judges that are sitting there. Obviously, there's a lot of information out there. You probably want to be careful about what information you're getting, what source you're using. The 9th District has a wonderful website that can explain many things about what the court does, and by doing that, they explain many things about what the judges do. You have 5 Court of Appeals judges in the 9th District, so you can learn about them through that website. We also do courtrooms in the classrooms, so we can come in and we can have a classroom. We can have court in the actual school, and the class can get involved in what that process is like too. So that's a way to get information to the young people about what it is the judges do. It is a situation in the state of Ohio that judges cannot answer certain questions. Mm-hmm. They cannot say things that are related to their personal opinion on matters that are of public concern, perhaps. And I understand that that is a frustration for the voter because they want to get to know what your stance is. But the reality is it's very important that the judge not give his or her personal opinion because it doesn't matter. So if I like to explain it this way, if you and I share the same personal opinion on some matter and you vote for me because we share the same personal opinion, that is very unfair to you because you are assuming that I'm going to rule on whatever is before me based on my personal opinion, which is the same as yours. But the matter of the fact is that I follow the law, and if that's contrary to our personal opinions, then that's the way it goes.
That's a great point. I've never heard it explained that way, but that kind of nails it exactly. Now, do you have open? Are the courtrooms open to the public if they want to sit in and observe hearings?
They are. But also, the 9th District posts all the oral arguments on YouTube. So you can watch an oral argument. It's a half hour of your time. Each attorney gets 15 minutes per side. We do sometimes have pro se individuals representing themselves in the Court of Appeals. So 15 minutes to argue the case. That, of course, is a small portion of what we do. Sure. Most of the time we spend reading, writing, researching. So we have briefs and stacks of documents and the entire record of the trial court below. Okay. So.
Go ahead, Mike.
Very good. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Just wanted to know if there's anything else you'd like to share with the viewers at home.
I think it's very important that the viewers understand that they should become informed about the judges, about the candidates for judges, and they should vote in judicial elections. You are a super voter if you vote in judicial elections because not everyone does.
Perfect.
Very good.
Yeah, thank you very much for your time. Best
Sure.
luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.